Now I'd like to talk about the braids. So this braid is known as a herringbone braid, but it's also known as a Latvian braid. And this is worked one color per stitch all the way across. This mitten shows an elongated Latvian braid. The braid covers 2 stitches rather than 1. And this is what I call a split herringbone braid because there's a row in between and it just gives a different look. To work the typical Latvian braid takes 3 rounds or rows. So the first round is a setup round and it doesn't exactly show except on the inside of the braid. And so it is worked by knitting, alternating the colors, and then the next 2 rows are purled with both of the yarns in front of the work. So it's the stranding that creates the different parts of the braid. So I'm going to start off here by just knitting one by one. Now I've completed knitting the round. This is the setup round where I alternated the colors, and you can see that I've already started to do the braid a little bit over here, and the bottom part of the braid is angling up towards the right, and you can make it go to the left as well, but we'll do it this way for now. So you want both yarns that you're working with in front of the work so that you can just pick one at a time and you're purling. And here's an important little clue. As soon as you're done taking one stitch off, put your needle into the next stitch, because you're going to let go of the right needle in order to manipulate the yarns, and that stabilizes that needle and makes it a lot easier. So now I'm picking up the blue yarn, and note that it's coming under the red, not over, but under. And I'm purling, and I go right into the next stitch. I might tension a little bit, bring the new yarn under. Go into the next stitch, tension, bring the new yarn under. Now your yarns are going to be getting very twisted, and if you can stand it, just allow the twist to build up. Maybe move it down your yarns every once in a while, but on the 3rd round you're going to untwist it naturally. So don't waste any time right now untwisting unless it's really making you crazy. So again, if your yarns are not twisting around each other, then you're not doing it correctly. Now we're ready for round 3, and you can see that I've started to do that, and now we've got that herringbone look. And do you see this stitch right here in the middle? That is completing the herringbone shape for your eye. And what we're actually seeing here are the tops of the knit stitches we did in round 1. So again, we have both yarns in front of us, and you're going to go into the stitch purlwise, but instead of coming under, we're going to bring the new yarn over. And so that is what's going to actually untwist your yarns and make the top of the braid go in the opposite direction that the bottom part did. So another way to say this is to go over. You lay the yarn you just used to the left of the yarn you want to use next. Lay it to the left, and then when you pick up the new yarn, it's naturally going over. Now, for the first part in the 2nd round, you would take the yarn to the right before you pick up the new yarn, and that would naturally make the new yarn come from underneath. Looks pretty good. It adds a lot to anything, and I've used this technique on socks, on mittens, on hats, on the shoulder line of a sweater, at the bottom of a sweater. It's really a great technique.